I was on mute.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see you.
I was going like
Because I
this.
was looking at the other screen. Oh, anyways, for everyone that's joining us right now, and Yawa for staying tuned while I was not saying anything. Thank you all for making it tonight for our Mayan calendar moon phase cycles of ceremonies with the grandmas. We have Grandma Marsha from BC and Grandmother Renee from Six Nations, and we're really honored to be hosting this. When you all said that you wanted to do this, I think bi-weekly or whatever you feel called, the platform is here, and we're just really, really grateful that you're here to share with us. Transferring this knowledge is so important for us, and so thank you so much for preserving it, for preserving it for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's an honor to be sharing what was normally discussed at this time of year. We would all be sitting around and we'd be discussing what mostly about dreams too, because that's where the sky world, Grandmother Moon, she always is speaking to us, and this is why we always have that tendency to be looking up into the sky. And so, with that, I think we're going to start with a song, and then I can do the opening.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. And we're so happy you joined us today. And I'm going to begin with a song of gratitude, a song of thanks. And it's a thank you song. And the word Yahweh will come up in it. And that is the Mohawk word for thank you. And so I will sing this through a couple of times. And as I'm singing it, we're at the start of a new year. So whatever happened last year is behind us. Mm-hmm. And we're beginning anew. So let's think about the things that we are grateful for in our lives right now. And I'll sing it through twice. When Yahweh, Anna, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, ya, when Yahweh, Anna, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, ya, when Yahweh, ho. When Yahweh, Anna, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, ya, when Yahweh, Anna, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, na, when Yahweh, ya, when Yahweh, ho.
Ooh, wow.
Woo. All right.
Beautiful.
So that brought us all centering into this time and place right at this moment. So whatever is going on in your life right now, you can just put it on a shelf and be here with us for this short time we have. And so the piece that I'm really excited to share about is about the Mayan calendar. And I'll be talking a bit about the sequence of it as we go through this year. I think our plan is to do these calls once a month on the second Friday of the month. And so I'll be going through the time phase that we're living in at the moment. And I had two fantastic teachers to learn about this. I've been working with it and studying it for about the last 20 years. And my teachers were taught Apolinario Chile Pishtun from Guatemala. He's no longer with us. He's in spirit world. And also taught Omea Heket, Eric Gonzalez. And so I'll explain a little bit about the Mayan calendar overall first before we get into these days we're in, because as I said, I've been studying it for 20 years and I'm learning something new about it all the time. And so there is more than one Mayan calendar. One of them is based on the solar cycle, much like the calendar that we follow. It's about that long in length. It's about a 360-day cycle, and it's called the Hab. But the one we're going to be working with and learning about is called the Tzolk'in or the Cholkich. and it's the Cholquich to the Maya in Guatemala. It's Tzolk'in in the Yucatan of Mexico. So this calendar, it has a 260-day cycle. So in that 260-day cycle, within it are embodied the 20 Daylord signs, or Nahuals is another you may hear. And so, if you would like me to, I'll just actually step back a minute, and I guess Grandmother Renee was going to do an opening, so I will just continue once she's complete. So thank you.
Thank you. That was a beautiful way of starting. I know when you sang, it just hit everyone's heart. And that is the most beautiful thing, is starting our life in a new way. Like you say, put everything in the past. Just take that and put it back and look forward. And that's why we always say, start off with good words. Every step that we take, we have that opportunity of creating a new world. And when we create that new world, we have to start with giving thanks. And a lot of people have forgotten how to give thanks. And this is why we're in the turmoil that we are today. So we need to get back to giving thanks, because we're taking things for granted. And look at all the chaos that is happening. When we're thankful to all these things, these helpers, then we start looking after them. So let us begin a new way of life. That's what they called our way of life, was always acknowledging all those ones that, those helpers that have been here since the time of creation. And they were to help us to get through trauma. They were here because of our creation story. They were given a purpose in life, and that was to help us to overcome any challenges in life. And so this is why we give thanks. And so at this time, we gather up our breath. And that's one of the most important things we forget about, is our breath. That breath is a gift from our ancestors. It's also a gift from the Creator. And so in that breath that you take, that breath is knowledge, that breath is life, that breath is a purpose. And so when you know how to breathe, it is the essence of life. And so we give thanks. So at this time, we take that deep breath, and we acknowledge that breath that we just took. And because when we take that deep breath, all the knowledge, all the information comes, and it calms our mind, because we have become a society where our minds are like this, and we have many labels because of that. And so at this time, we bring that time of slowing ourselves down to say thank you, to say thank you for this very moment. And so at this time, we give thanks for this breath that we're giving so that we can continue. And so in that breath, I look around and I feel the life force of my life. And that is another gift, because I'm going to do a Thanksgiving in another way, because we also forget our bodies. It's time we start looking after ourselves. And what do they do? A New Year's resolution, you always want to make change. And so today I'm going to start different, because we usually give thanks to all the helpers, but I want to acknowledge each of us, our bodies. When we were created for a higher purpose in life. It wasn't to argue or have those negative things in our bodies. And so I think it's very important when we say give thanks in those songs, that was helping our body to be well. And so this is why it's very important we start off our way in saying good words, because this is medicine. So I want to put some medicine to you so that you can hear the medicine that is meant for your body. And so we give thanks for this gift of our breath. We give thanks for this gift of seeing, because if we don't give thanks, one day we're not going to be able to see. And as it is, a lot of people don't see the beauty in creation. And we need to see the beauty in creation again. Everyone is not listening because they're too busy. They're not listening to the birds, the ones that are here to help us. And so this big win is coming because we got to listen. It's going to move things so that we will have to really listen and bundle up. And many of you needed to get prepared for this, because your body is a gift, and winter is a very special gift. You are to give thanks for this body that's going to take you through the winter. So if you're grumbling and complaining, it's going to you'll probably end up getting sick. So you need to take care of yourself. So this way is a thanksgiving of this special gift that you are. This gift that you can see, that you can hear, that you can smell, that you can touch, that you can taste, and that you can speak of. But most important thing is you got to give thanks for your heart. Look at all the health problems we're having because we're overlooking. And this is very important how to start your new year. Is that resolution is I'm going to be a new being. And that's why we say a new year, a new Yah. And so we're going to start with a new beginning. And so let's give thanks to all the muscles that makes it enables us to do things. And that's we take for granted. How many give thanks for your body when you wake up in the morning? How many give thanks to your legs and your feet and your arms, everything that is? And that's goes also, I like with Grandmother Moon, because she talks about those things. And I'll explain later, but I think we need to be reminded on how to thank our best friend. This is our best body. So look after it. That's what all the helpers, all of them that have been here since the time of creation, they want to make you new. And that's what the Creator's promise was to us. When we took that breath, we're renewing our whole life. And so when we renew our life, we become creative, we become motivated. And so we need to bring, you are the one that can change your path, change those things that's coming in your path. And that is by deep breathing. When you get frustrated, just go, take that deep breath. And that's what that wind's coming here. That wind is a gift. And it is to take away all those things that's troubling our mind. Everybody's worried. Everybody's frustrated. Well, this is why creation come here. It's to teach us how to be thankful. So when it clears, it's just like grandma going through the house and cleaning her house. So give thanks for that wind that's coming, because, you have this opportunity to go outside and say thank you. And that's what we are taught. When that big wind comes, we go out and we put that tobacco and we say thank you. When that snow comes, we go out and we say thank you, because that snow is that blanket to ensure that mother's going to be taken care of. But it's also a time that we're going to take care of ourselves. So in a sense, this time right now is a time of being very thankful. And I'm very grateful that we have this opportunity to say thank you. And that's what you need to do, is to thank your body. Say, oh, I'm so grateful that you are. And you'll be amazed. This is your medicine. You are a healer. And these hands are that gift to say thank you. And so in that way, we give thanks that we are on an adventure. We are on an adventure. And that is to make us, whatever challenges we experience in our life, it is to make us more resilient, just like that wind that's coming, and just like that snow that's coming. So every season we were taught how it was to make us more resilient and help us to be well. And so to all of you, I say, Guadaluncua. And that is the most powerful message. It means this feeling that I wrap around you. And that's what the wind is coming, so that we can wrap ourselves and acknowledge this body that we're having. Acknowledge it and say, wow, it is good. Because the Grandmother Moon, she is always watching over us. And so we say to the Creator, to our higher power, we say thank you for giving us a very special gift. And each one of you is a very special gift. And that's how we start off every day. Remind yourself you are a very special gift. And so we give thanks for all of you that is here with us tonight. And that's why we are honoring Grandmother. She's always reminding us. So let's begin in love and in a new way of life.
Nyawa, Grandmother Renee. I'm going to step out of the room right now, but I just wanted to let you know there's so many messages here of gratitude and saying hello. What we'll do is we'll show them at the end, because if I pop them up right now, we'll never get through this. But there's so much love here for you. Like, my mouth is and cheeks are sore. You just make me smile, and my heart smile, both of you. And Yawa,
Yeah.
have a fun visit.
So let's hear from the south. Then I can bring in the north.
All right. So I guess Gail's going to join us when she arrives. And I wanted to just say, follow up to what Grandmother Renee shared. And that's really, starting things off with a thank you, whether it's a song or it's in words. That's just a way that once you get into the mind frame of doing that, it's not about doing it maybe just once a day or twice a day. It's about having that mindset to notice those things throughout the day that you have, the things that actually you are thankful for, because we are surrounded by miracles every day, and I think we tend to forget about them. So it's just, again, noticing, using all of our gifts of our senses to notice everything that we experience each and every day, and to give thanks for it as we go along. And it soon becomes like it's a waking prayer, as you walk through your day, and it's quite a beautiful experience to have. And that's one of the reasons why I think I've been following this Mayan calendar and learning about it for so long, because it's an ongoing living thing that it goes in cycles. It goes around in like a cycle of a 4-day cycle. And each of those days, it goes through each of the 4 directions, but it also goes through each of the 4 elements, the fire, the earth, the water, and the air. So it's like we're walking that medicine wheel teachings every day. It's a new day. It's a new energy. It's the energy of one of those elements. And it's also combined with an energy of a number from 1 to 13. And it's also the energy of whichever day lord is of that day. And it's all about a vibrational energy, because we know everything is energy, and everything has its own energy. And so what happens with each of us, the day we were born and that first breath that we took in, we inhaled the essence of whatever vibration and day lord or keeper was present for that day. And that ends up being a birth sign, and that helps to guide sort of our path. It's almost like having a bit of a roadmap, once you learn how to read it and to work with it. And so that kind of sets in place what kind of things to look out for, what kind of things are there to support you through your journey in this life. And so it goes beyond, just the calendar, like the one that we follow with, a month and the numbers on a page, because it actually connects you to those energies, and those energies connect us to really multi-dimensional spiritual realms. And it kind of like gets you almost beyond that place of the confines of time and space, so that once you can attune to those and be open to those, they can help to guide you. At midnight, when it turns midnight, it turns to a new energy and a new day lord each time. And I've been through some all-night ceremonies where you can just definitely feel those energies change right at that moment. It goes from one to the next, and it's just like a continual dance. So with these 260 days, they're broken down into what they call 13-day cycles. So it takes all 260 days for the vibrations and the day lords to match up and go through their cycle together. So the one that we're in right now, we're going to talk about, because we finished our last call actually on at the December 30th point, where we started a new cycle. And that cycle for that 13-day week is started off with 1 Kia, which is about the deer, the shamans, and it goes through for 13 days to Kawuk. Now, these 13-day cycles, whatever sign they start with, if it's a sign that has to do with water, it ends in water. And that's what this cycle that we're in right now is all about. And actually, the last day of that cycle is today on January the 12th. So this is the walk we've gone through. And even though a lot of what I may say, we'll talk about, shamans and things like that, I want you to see what you can apply from the words I share that really, help to have a direct relationship to you as you are walking in your life right now, too. So on December 30th or 31st, this cycle it started now, it was all about the spiritual initiation of the shamans and the medicine people and the bundle carriers as they begin their journey. But it's also then about whatever it is that you hold spiritual to yourself. What is it that you are carrying that helps to support you in your walk as you begin to continue that walk that helps to support you in the work that you have chosen to do in this life? So in this cycle on January the 5th, which was Friday, the day Lord sign of 6E, it's about reflecting on the path you're walking in this life right now, and really walking towards what our heart's desire is and also towards what our destiny is. So on Friday, the 6th, was 7 Ach, so it's the halfway point in that 13-day week. And that day was asking us to decide what's the bundle that we're going to carry. So really to us, what are our very own personal sacred tools that I'm going to say that I'm going to use, that you are going to use, that is going to really help you in your walk to manifest whatever your vision is right now. And then on Sunday the 7th, it was the day of 8-ish. And now that you have a bundle, it's asking you to consider, is this the sacred place where you do your work? So the sign of Ish is all about the shamans. It's about the jaguar, which is the shield of the shamans. It's about the goddess, but it's also about the medicines, and especially those sacred medicines that are for healing and for keeping us well and keeping us healthy. And it's about those sacred places that, many people around the world, they have these sacred places where ceremonies have been held, where they go to pray, and how important it is to maintain, the sanctity of those places so that people continue to come there, because every ceremony builds the energy of that place. Every prayer, it's all encoded in that space. And so it's about really honoring and protecting those sacred places. And then on Monday the 8th, we had Nine Zakin. And this is about the relationship of that bundle that we are carrying with this particular day, Lord, because it's a day of beginning anew, and it's like it becomes alive. It really becomes more potent to be able to help us. So it's about manifesting whatever your vision is, whatever your dream is, whatever your life's path is. It's about really manifesting that and anchoring that new beauty in your life. And so the new visions and the new spiritual visions particularly are really born on this day so that you could carry them forward. And then yesterday was the new moon, and that was the day of 12 Tahash. And that really, Tahash is about kind of looking into that smoking mirror, to look beyond the haze, to really delve into really getting to know and understand ourselves more, and really find out what's no longer needed in our lives. So those things that are holding us back, we really need to search those out. And it's a good time at the beginning of this new year to really release those kinds of things so that, and Tehash's symbol is also the obsidian blade. So it's a good time to, like, use that to cut away those things that no longer serve us, that are not helping us in our beautiful walk in this life. And then today on the 12th is 13 Kawuk. So this is where now that full potential for what started on December 31st on One Kiak can come to its fruition. So it's where we're becoming one with the power of the universe. We're becoming one with the lightning and the thunder, because Kawuk is all about the power of the water to purify and to cleanse us, and for how sacred it is. And the bundle that we carry then almost becomes a sacred place itself, like the sacred places that you can visit. It's like a sanctuary. And it's like a sacred fireplace, especially for those who work with maybe tobacco and have either a fire in their pipe, or they work with making offerings and offering it to the fire.
I'm finally on. Shh.
Offering it to the earth. Oh, Gail's here. Good. So it's a story of what it is that the medicine person finds to hold, to carry, and to manifest through, and utilizing the forces of nature. And I was fortunate a year and a half ago to be able to travel to Peru, and I was up in the high Andes with some of the tribal people up there, and really got to meet some of their medicine people. And the way the medicine people are selected up there, or one of the ways, is that because they live high in the top of the mountain, so if storms are coming through, you can imagine there's lightning. So if a person gets struck by lightning, they are then deemed to, their gift then is to become a medicine person. However that ends up coming through for them, whether it's being as a healer or somebody who does oracle readings, but that's how, one of the ways they are chosen. And it's almost like that's a divine way of being shown that that's your path. So that was pretty amazing. That's a pretty powerful initiation to have to go through, but that's what they do. And I met a few of them who that was what happened to them, and some of them have been struck by lightning more than once. So again, that's the power of that Kawuk energy coming through. So tomorrow we begin a new cycle, a new 13-day cycle. And this time, the day lord sign for tomorrow is going to be Wanakpu. So at midnight tonight, the energy is going to shift from what was carrying sort of the water energies. It's going to go to earth. And Wanakpu is going to show us some of the creation story of the Maya. It really comes alive sort of in this section of the story. It's almost like each of these 13-day weeks has their own story. And so if you were born in any of these days or in your tree of life, it's something to really pay attention to. So tomorrow, it's about the birth of the sun, the crystallization of the spiritual being, because it's going to start its journey through the calendar, and it starts to see what it's going to be challenged by and what it has to go through to be able to bring the dreams and the visions, to reality. And so, so it's going to be a journey, but again, Apu is all about that light, and it's about facing those challenges. So on Friday, the 19th, is the day Lord 7 Kame. And again, it's the number that's halfway through this particular 13-day week. But it's also the opponent to Wanakpu. And Kame represents those lords of the underworld. So Wanakpu, who is the enlightened being, must now take the journey. It must take the pilgrimage and face the opponent of its being. So it's not about being scared about it. It's not about running away. It's not about not facing it. It's about, seeing what it is and finding ways to work through it. So on Saturday, the 20th, is going to be the day of 8 Kiach. And so whatever the outcome is of that challenge, the true shaman or the person will receive power on that day. And so the energy creates, again, the manifestation of a medicine person. That's the potential, or not, depending on how those challenges were faced and if they were successful. So, if it's not shifting into that place of carrying the power of the medicine, it means that, continuing to be a regular human being. But if it's the shaman, the spiritual being that comes through, now they have the ability and the knowledge and the skills to move on to that next day, which is Sunday, the 21st. And it's 9 Keneal. And again, that's a day of manifesting or birthing something new. And what it's asking, because it's Keneal, is about birthing the seeds that are going to create the beautiful garden so that you will be able to have a beautiful harvest in your life. And so that sacred gift of those seeds is carried on through this cycle, right through to 13, which is going to be on Thursday, January the 25th. And that's also the day of the full moon. So it's all about manifesting the destiny and goals that are set as we walk our path to our greatest potential in this life. And so it's about being someone who then on the day can manifest to their full potential, being able to show the way for others, being able to become the spiritual teacher or to become the great leader who holds the spiritual and what is sacred. But there are also challenges here, powerful challenges. And I think I alluded to the story of the hero twins last time we were together too, but it's like the hero twins, they were courageous enough of the Maya. They started their initiation and they began to acknowledge their gifts and take their own journey when they were invited to the underworld. And so the underworld, of course, meant that they were going to be challenged and tested. And they did go, and they were able to outwit the lords of the underworld, and they survived because they were able to call upon the beings in nature as their allies. And they were able to, it wasn't like tricking, but they were using natural, like fireflies, all kinds of like beings that you wouldn't think would be powerful. In one sense, but they were ones that were used, beautiful feathers of like macaws, that again just helped to create the illusion that helped them to defeat the lords of the underworld. So again, they show us the ways of having that courage and willingness to face those adversities and to continue on and to carry on and not be afraid of that. And so learning how we can do that so that we can continue to walk on our own path, whatever that may be, to our greatest potential. So that's the 2 13-day weeks I'll share with you this time, and we'll carry on next time. But if you want to know more in detail, I'll refer you to the Mayan calendar energy forecast on Facebook. That's a site that my teacher actually, they update what's going on in the current cycles on there as well. So that's one place you can go. And if anybody has questions around wanting to know more, especially if Tree of Life, you can, I guess, message us through the site and we'll get back to you and refer you to what you need to know if you wanted to know more about that. So thank you and welcome, Cousin Gail. New y'all. You're on mute.
Well, hello. I've been in the background listening because it's kind of like a crazy storm out there right now. And so the power is kind of crazy too. So sorry that I haven't been hitting right here with you, but I have been listening. So it's really important, I guess, to see how all of this, how we work together in such powerful ways. So the Mayan calendar with Kwak, of course, um, Marsha talked about the um, the powerful force, and sure enough, that's coming through with our weather right now. As a matter of fact, I'm being told, go home, go home. I got to get home right now because the roads are really bad. So, well, that's what I'll be doing shortly. So, but before I venture out and hit that weather, one of the beautiful aspects about right now is this time of year is we're getting ready for our midwinter ceremonies. And our midwinter ceremonies are a very powerful time. It's a time when I mentioned, last time that we're supposed to be in a quiet place. We're supposed to be thinking and, reevaluating our year. And it's been a month since our last chat. And so we've had time to really look at where we're going and what we need to do to get there. And so one of the things that help us to achieve this is our ceremonial cycle. So our ceremonial cycle, it's something that our longhouses follow, and I'm so happy to be part of the Haudenosaunee because it gives you a sense of something to look forward to. And so a midwinters, it's a 7-day ceremony, basically. Like every day, there's different things that go on. Each longhouse has different ceremonies, and they run their doings a little bit differently. But basically, it's a time for dancing with Creator, for Creator, giving thanks, stirring the ashes of your ancestors, of putting through ceremonies that you might not have been able to put through all through the year. It's a time of wearing your regalia in a really proud way, of learning your songs, of being part of having the babies named. Also, it's a time when the fun part is the dance. So we have what we call a dance day, and that's where we do our sacred dances. And at that time, it's also a healing day because the more that you dance, the more that you feel better. And so we're in a powerful cycle right now, and it's like I said, one of the best times of the year. And when we're looking at, I guess, what it is we're doing is our people have always been what we might call we come from an oral tradition. And so what we do is we repeat over and over and over again our ceremonies. And so the more that you attend, every time you go, there's something different, and there's something new, and there's something else that you pick up. And I know that over the years, what I found is I have a deeper understanding every time that I attend ceremony. I have a deeper understanding of something, and that might be, but it's something that is going to guide me through the year. That's something that I'm adding to my tool belt and filling in those puzzle pieces, because sometimes it's profound and sometimes it's not. But either way, it's a time for just checking in on yourself. What is it that we really need? Where are we going? Those questions, they seem to get answered when we wear our traditional clothes, and when we dance to that beat of the drum. We're dancing with our ancestors proudly. They're so happy that we're there, and we're not dancing for just ourselves. We're dancing for all of those who could not attend, because there's many people who can attend for whatever reason, and I also dance for our brothers and sisters around the world who don't know that we're doing these ceremonies, and who I would love to invite to these ceremonies because of how they make me feel. But at this point, we don't do that, right now. We keep it in, and then I understand, why that is, but I also know the beauty of what we're doing, and to be able to share that beauty around the world, to me, would be one of the most powerful things that we could do. So just imagine it's snowing out and it's cold, and you walk into the longhouse, and the first thing you notice is the smell of the wood fires, the wood stoves, and right then and there, it's like you're entering into a place back in time when we used to live with the land, and we used to live a totally different way than we live now, and it brings back those old memories, because maybe as a child you had a wood stove, but over time you don't have a wood stove anymore, and it brings back those old and those beautiful times. And then you look, and the benches are full at this time. These ceremonies, the benches are full, and it's so nice to see everybody there. And as you find your place, and of course in the longhouses, we sit according to our clans, and so the couple of the days we sit with our clans, and some of the days we sit on the men and the women's side, depending on what we're doing. And so as you walk in, you know that the ancestors are immediately brushing you off. And so sometimes people call that therapeutic touch or Reiki or whatever, but it's our ancestors, and they're welcoming us into this space because they're so thankful that we're still carrying on and following those laws that have been given to us. So we walk in, and of course the opening address is always so powerful, because even if you can't understand the language, you can feel the energy of the language being spoken, and you know that there's some very powerful words. And I'm so happy that our orators are such powerful speakers, because they hold your attention, and their words are like giving us a message, whether it be physically, whether it would be however we're getting our messages, we're getting our messages. And after that, then we start whatever it is that we have to do. And so our first day is about stirring ashes of our ancestors. And so as we stir those ashes, and we do that process, those songs that are sung are so powerful. They just bring you to a place of like, I don't know, it's a deep happiness, or it's a big, deep joy. It's a deep emotion that you feel as you watch. And I remember the first time you see your grandkids or your family is, when they go up and they stir those ashes, they try to keep us together, sometimes in families as we go up, and it really feels so full of love when we do that. And then as you watch, and as we continue on through the days, we understand that our ancestors have done this for generations and generations, and it's important for us to continue. It's important for us to learn the ceremonies. It's important for us to follow these ways, because it's the prayer of the people. It's the prayer of all people. And when we're in prayer, there's such a strong sense of beauty. And it's that beautiful moment when you walk in that you understand what I'm talking about when it's beauty, when we say beauty. And for those that can't be there, sometimes it's because of sickness, ill health, being scared to go. We're doing it for them. We're doing it for those that don't even know that it's important. And so it's an interesting time. It's a time when we have to, I guess, plan. We have to plan, because it's a week, and so we have to fill in our time as much as we can, but we have to make it a priority. And when we make ceremony priority, then it always helps to empower us as we move forward. So I just wanted to, um, give you just kind of these little tidbits. My family's kind of like saying, Gail, get home right now. The roads are bad. So we're getting quite the storm out there right now. And
Oh, yes. The this time is called Big Spirit, and it comes in a bigger force of wind, the moon time. And so this is what is happening. It's but we're also told that at this time it's preparing our wood for the next year, but it's also doing work for the future. And so when this coal comes, so please everyone, honor this coal. It has a greater purpose. It is to bring down those virus that man has created. It is to kill the virus that's in the the water and the air. And so, when you look at the coalness that's coming, it's a gift, and that's why we should be very thankful that it's coming, because if it's going to be very warm, what is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of insects that is going to destroy our trees and our plants and our food. And so when this cold comes, it it puts them down. And so we just have to remember it is a very important time. And so this is what we are sharing tonight, is that yes, this big wind is coming, and this big wind was natural. But today we don't look at it as being natural, because we've gotten so our winters have been changing, and that's because we haven't learned how to be grateful. We've walking around, and this is a very important time, and I think this is why the wind is coming so strong, is to teach us how to think about the things that we have to be thankful for. And there is so much more to talk about, and what winter's all about. And I like how it talks about the spirit moon. And that's just what Grandmother Marsha was talking about, the spiritual time. And winter is that spiritual time of us learning how to go within ourselves. And just like Grandmother Gail had said, it's that time of quietness, preparing yourself for ceremony. And so these Grandmother Moon, she plays a very important role in every. We should get back to her original names, because it talks about spirit moon, bear moon. It talks about these things that's manifesting and being prepared for. So I know a lot of people aren't prepared for this big wind that's coming. And one of the things is it has a greater purpose in life. And that purpose was to bring um, some of the trees, the branches, so that we could gather them up and have it for our wood fire. But it's also to bring them down, because there may be insects that have made their lives inside those trees. And so it's almost like bringing that balance back to life. And so Grandmother Moon, she is still directing us. So when you look up into the sky world, the more you look up into the sky world, the more knowledge you're going to take in, and the more breath you're going to take. Because what did Grandmother Marsha talk about? Our sacred bundle. You are a sacred bundle. You came from a very sacred place. And the moon, the stardust, is everything that we're made of. That's how sacred you are. And so what she reminded you of this bundle every like 13 days, how to we are spiritual beings. We're learning how to be in an earthly body, and sometimes it's very challenging. We have the ability to do many things, but when we have too much negative, and that's what the big wind comes, it's almost like to take away all that negativity that we're having. And what it means is we have to start fresh. And that's what the wind is doing. It's going to help us to start fresh. It's going to bring freshness into our bodies again, so that we can change our insides, so making it ourselves well. So I thought I would share that with everyone and let everyone know that we had understood why the seasons came, what each moon meant, and knowing that moon, what its purpose was to always to renew our spiritual being. We are spiritual people, and this is why we do this ceremony, because even in the sky world, it shows that this is a time for ceremonies. The ceremony of you being well, the ceremony of you gathering and taking care of this sacred bundle. What's your intention? What is your intention? As they say, manifest it. You have that very powerful gift, and it's called the good mind. And so, if anytime you use negative, remember that big wind. Blow it out. Don't let it sit inside you. That's what everything of nature is teaching us, how to be well. And so, yes, yes, it is a very humbling time, and that's what we are to be. We are to be humble, and that's what Grandma's going to teach us in this next few days, is how to be humble and how to appreciate, a lot of things. And it's so sad that people don't appreciate things till they're gone, right? So learn how to be proactive. Learn how to say thank you, and that's why we would do these ceremonies, is to thank all creation for forming their duties. And that's what Grandmother Gail would have talked about. How we do these ceremonies is still acknowledging all those helpers out there. And just like the North, the South, the East, and the West, it's a time of gratitude, because there is a greater purpose, and it is always to remind us to take care of ourselves. And that's what Grandmother only wants, is how we take care of ourselves. Look and see what is happening before our eyes, so that we can be prepared and not be, as they say, devastated with what's going on around us. So it also, that wind wakes you up and makes you see and know that you need to do something. And a lot of you are in that awakening part. And I'm so grateful to hear from Marsha telling us from the South, the calendar, the indigenous way. And from the North, we have their names and their purpose. And so we say, with that, welcome to the new year. And may Grandmother Moon bless you, each and every one of you. May you have a better understanding of her relationship with you, and know that she is very, very, very observant of all the things that is happening. And so once in a while, we need to be taught some lessons. And so that's why I learned to be grateful every day. Grateful. So I thank you.
Yes, I'll just add what Grandmother Renee said, because I think nature is exactly showing us right now to remind us of the natural cycles of things, right? Nature takes a rest. Mother Earth takes a rest at this time of year. And yet for us, sometimes we just carry on trying to be, as busy as ever. But sometimes we just have to stop. I think at one time that I was seeing an Ayurvedic physician, and he said, I just have one word for you. And that was a piece of advice I really carry with me to this day. He said, stop. It's just a 4-letter word. But sometimes if you're in your busyness all the time, you miss so much. You miss noticing the signs around you each and every day. You miss noticing the things that are gifts and even magical that come into your life each and every day. And then that's when we really get to tune into being grateful, because once you start noticing it, it's hard to ignore it. And it's really nice when it is able to flow into your life, and it becomes something that's just natural for you every day. And then you start living more from a place of your heart, where your heart is just grateful, grateful for all that you've been given, all the gifts. We all have so many gifts. And that's what the story about the calendar with the bundles is all about. Like, how do we best honor and use our gifts? And we aren't going to be able to use them very well if we don't take care of ourselves.
Right.
And in taking care of ourselves, we have to really learn about ourselves. We have to spend some time with ourselves alone. we really have to just stop being so busy. And this is the time of year to do that, to go to that within place, find that peace, find that center, find that deep wisdom that's in you all the time. And all the ways that our ancestors and all those that have gone before us, they're just out there cheering us on. You know, they want us to be successful. They want us to be able to continue on in our intended walk in this life so that we can bring more beauty and more peace and more love to this world. So again, I know many of us are hunkering down for our winter storms that are moving through right now, and I just really want to acknowledge that you took the time, you know, to show up on this call today. And for those of you who will be listening to it in the days ahead, just know that that it's from such a deep place of gratitude that we come and are able to share this with you. And so, thank you for being here. And now I'll go.
So take care, everyone, and we'll see you in a month. I wonder